Hello everybody, I hope you're all well and keeping safe. Now, I don't like using the word technique in relation to Tai Chi. It implies that as we go through the form, at certain points, we have to do something special, a little trick. Having said that, the last few weeks we've been showing you what we could call techniques, how to make the form work, the details of different moves. This week we're going to move on and look at Loi, Jai and On. Now that's pull down, press and push, and they're all moves that look as though you could be using your arms. What we're trying to do with Tai Chi, and this is why it isn't a technique, is use our whole body, so it's a matter of developing coordination. The next thing I'm going to look at is a bit of sword form. I don't intend to go through every single move in detail, but when we talk about techniques, sword form's rather more dimensional than the hand form. The way you hold your sword, the way you stab, the way you turn, where you look. So I'm going to look at those aspects of it rather than take you through individual moves. I know there's only 2 or 3 of you doing sword, but it does have an importance because it helps with energy projection. Scott Meredith, if anybody's read Juice, you will remember he described the straight sword as the Yang's secret energy antenna. The other thing I want to start looking at is Qigong. Now, we all do this, we all know it. I hope a few of you are doing it regularly. Alan Ding, many years ago when I was a student, Alan took over a class, and one of the students said to him, how often should I practice? Which struck me as a completely stupid question. Pretty obvious, practice every day, but Alan reflected on it for a moment, I thought, and then said, well, as a minimum, do Qigong every day. And so we're going to look at the relevance of that and again go through some of the moves. So this is where we left it last time. We're going to look at Loi. So first thing to do is turn your hands over, and if you turn slightly to your right and use that turn to power your hands, then sit back, turning to your left and letting your hands come down so they end up just across your knee. Okay, go back and we'll look at a couple more things. So the turning of hands is powered by a slight turn to the right, and that actually use that to turn your hands over. Now if Jo doesn't drop her hands down but just does the move backwards, you'll see her hands come round. So there's been no arm movement at all. But if she goes back to that position, what she's going to do is lower her hands. So if we do that, so that's a whole arm movement. Now if we combine the 2 again, that's Loi. Okay, now going into Jai, you turn your hands back. The 2 little grooves under your thumb connect together. And as you turn your hands, move your right hip back away from your arm. So you create a little bit of space there, and then move your weight forward. Turn your hands over. Now we go into On. You sit back, and as you sit back, draw your hands in. Hands by your shoulders, move, and then move forward, extending your arm. This is important. What it looks as though you're doing is just pushing your arms out. This is where we sort of get the reputation for arm waving, but in fact the whole move is body. Your arms just extend because you're moving your body forward. Okay, so Jo, if we could go through the whole sequence again from stroke the bird's tail. So you're going to turn your hands. Your arms are just going to lower as you move back, and you're going to bring your hands together and square your hips, so you create a little bit of space there. and then just move forward. So this is press, and your arms don't move until they roll over, and then you sit back and bring them to your shoulders, and then you move your whole body forward and extend. Okay, my turn. I said we'd look at some of the sword form and some of the moves and techniques involved in it. So the first thing I want you to note is how I'm carrying the sword when I'm standing. If I walk forward, if I fall over, I'm not going to hurt myself. Natural instinct is to reach out if you happen to trip up and fall. I know Tai Chi is good for balance and none of us fall over, but just a tip. When you turn the sword round, this is how you hold it. One finger down the back of the hilt, left thumb curls under the hilt, and these three fingers come over the top. That way you've got complete control when you want to turn it, stab somebody with it, anything you like. Okay? Now, in terms of actually moving the sword, when we start here, we've got to move where we cut down. Now I'm looking at you, I should be looking at the sword. When I cut down here, the cut begins here, where I take the sword over, not down there, it's a cut. And I'm looking at the end of the sword, and I put my fingers here, and this completes the energy circle. So when I move into when I go into the next move, point. That's all about energy projection. Now when you cut with the sword, whether you're cutting right or left, backhand there, follow the sword, watch it. Coming from here, it's cutting there. You don't want to be looking that way. In the hand form, you always look forward. But with this, you always follow the sword. There are two cuts to consider. Face you this time. That one, and you can stab. When you go back, you turn it over. Again, this is body movement. To stab, you've got to turn it back. So, if you're going forward, you stab, cut, stab, stab, cut, stab. If you're going backwards, remember, step back for a pulse monkey. Turn, stab, turn the sword, and foot back, cut, turn the sword, step back, turn. It doesn't matter whether you're going forward or backward, always watch the tip of the sword, watch where you're cutting, stabbing, and if it's a downward movement, as it could be here, again, watch that. We're going to go up. Watch the top of the sword, and as I said, watch it round there. So you're always paying attention to where the sword's going. And what this will do for you, as Scott Meredith said, it will help with your energy projection. So when you're doing the hand form, you get used to looking that far away. Don't get all tied up in your own body. Okay? And I'll come up with some new stuff for next time. Okay, so we said we'd look at Qigong. Two things about that I want to cover today at the start. How you stand and how you breathe. Now standing, you don't want to be all up here, you want to relax. So the first thing you need to learn to do is let everything go. Lift your head, straighten your back. Don't bend your knees as such, just sit down a little bit. That will do all the knee bending that you need. And then let head go, chest go, and when you feel the tension in your thighs, you eventually have to learn to relax those as well, and you'll see you sink a little bit further. Now as for breathing, you need to breathe in here, and that is quite important. If you want to know more about that, go and look up metarobics on the internet. People have problems with this, so I've got an exercise for you that might help you. Diaphragm breathing, every singer knows about this. Ask Joe. We've got a diaphragm, it's a muscle that goes across here somewhere, and it's a relatively weak muscle. This will help you to breathe with your diaphragm, lower your breath, and maybe even strengthen it a little bit. So put your hands here, breathe in, and you should feel it right across your middle, and then breathe out again, and then breathe in and out. Just repeat this 10 times every day, but it should help you to learn to breathe lower down rather than up here. And when you're breathing up here, you think you've got a lung full of air. You haven't, you just filled the top half. If you breathe here, the air is going all the way through your lungs, so you're getting a better breath, and it feels as though this is expanding, but it's really about everything. So this exercise, breathe in, and breathe out, and breathe in. Okay, and next time we'll look at Wu Chi, and we'll look at how to stand with your hands out like this. Okay?